In the last 3 years of Don't Tell the Bride, dozens of brave women have handed complete control of the biggest day of their lives to their blokes. In return, their grooms were given £12,000 and a chance to prove themselves to the woman they love. Lots of the boys had big ideas, and most of the girls couldn't believe their luck when they were finally reunited. But nobody's perfect.
You just not organised anything.
So did the blushing brides really get the wedding they'd always dreamt of?
Oh my God, there's naked girls. Oh, what a plonker.
Come here!
And how did they react to the way their blokes had spent their last 3 weeks of freedom?
I was horrified. He was a madman.
That split second, I was just like, I'm gonna kill him.
Tonight, the girls finally get the chance to have their say.
That's exactly what I said I didn't want. You don't know how mad I am.
Well, quite frankly, aren't I the bitch?
Months down the line, who's still making their man pay for his mistakes?
No, he's got another 50-odd years of me going on about that.
And what happened to the couple with the most OTT wedding in the history of the series?
I was married for 6 months.
"23-year-old dancer Acha from Belfast had her heart set on a traditional wedding with all the trimmings. Unfortunately, there was nothing traditional about the day her 23-year-old barman fiancé Johnny organised for her.
A garden? What if it starts raining?
Acha had no idea what Johnny had in store for her, but with the bride-to-be safely out of their flat for 3 weeks,
To Acha, to Acha.
Acha, good man.
I love
it
that.
soon became clear that wedding planning wasn't high on Johnny and best man Jim's list of priorities.
Morning. Morning.
Morning.
I don't think I should be too happy if she knew that the first thing we did was go out on the town.
I was horrified. He was a madman. It was just them having a 3-week-long stag do, and it was so disappointing.
Johnny might have got away with his 3-week stag do, but he didn't know that house-proud Acha had decided to pay a visit to his wedding planning HQ.
Oh my God, smell it. Holy. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Look at the amount of drink that's been drunk. They're meant to be organising a wedding. Surely they can't have enough time to have this much fun. I honestly couldn't believe my eyes. There was Johnny with like 10 other people in my poor little house, jumping up and down, wearing my clothes. Johnny was in my pink glittery top, which I ended up having to throw away because it was stretched. What was he thinking, jumping up and down when he's supposed to be organising my wedding, clearly so drunk that he probably won't be able to function for the next 4 days?
I think it was Jim, actually, that stopped me putting on one of the bridesmaid dresses or the wedding dress, because that would have been, because they were in the house, so that would have been a disaster.
Start the wedding proper for me now.
Oh. I was so disappointed in him. I just thought, even if he didn't know I was going to be going into the house, he knows that I am house proud and that it is a big deal for my house to be kept in a good enough condition. I would say pristine, but I knew not to expect that. I find it very difficult to encourage myself to forgive him for that.
I really want him to feel really bad for this.
So I say,
Acha wasn't the only one who was upset. Friends and family also found it hard to forgive him.
One of my close friends in Belfast, his granny didn't actually speak to me. She was so annoyed that I'd upset Acha over that flat. She didn't take into account that at the end Acha was really, really happy. She just had seen Acha crying over the state of the flat and just refused to talk to me. It was really, really awkward. And I was like, oh, come on. No, wasn't happy at all. She said, the state you got that flat in. That's grannies for you. They're bitter.
All Johnny's partying didn't leave much time for traditional wedding planning. And this groom wasn't shy of taking a few shortcuts.
I can send a lot of invites through Facebook. Because that means I won't have to post things.
Facebook wedding invites. Who does that, honestly?
Look, we're going to give this a go. We're going to try to do video invites with me and Jim featuring Peter Andre as the music. Just for a laugh.
What song is it?
Mysterious Girl.
baby girl, I said tonight is your lucky night. Peter Andre along with Bubbler and Spawny Mike. I stop and stare at you, walking on the shore. I try to concentrate. My mind.
I am actually still a bit annoyed about that because there were certain people that should have been invited to the wedding that weren't.
I sent Acha's mum the Facebook invite, and after the wedding she told me she wasn't impressed about the handwriting, the fact that maybe we hadn't printed out the signs properly and did it a little bit better, but I didn't really have the time or couldn't really be bothered.
It's one thing to improvise an invite, quite another to take a risk with the wedding venue in the rainiest summer for 50 years.
Imagine Acha crying when she wakes up in the morning to realise that it's raining on her wedding day.
Not wishing to put a dampener on his bride's mood, Johnny did consider a traditional wedding venue, a stately home that Acha would have loved.
Is this a safe option, or is it actually a really good option to go for something like this?
It's definitely safe.
But safe wasn't a word that was in this groom's vocabulary, so it was goodbye to Acha's dream country house and hello to a couple of teepees.
It's looking good, and it won't rain, and everyone will have a good time. What's the weather like? At the moment it's bucketing down out of the heavens. And I'm nervous.
Have we made a mistake? Have we?
Judgment Day finally arrived for this unorthodox groom and his big fat outdoor wedding. He'd got away with it. It was the first day it hadn't rained in a fortnight.
When I got driven to this outside wedding, it was perfect because it was sunny and the sun was just shining like through the trees, and I just thought, oh my goodness, what have I done to deserve this?
Once I seen Acha walking down the aisle, it was just such a mix of emotions, really, like with, you know, nerves, the fact that relief that she was smiling. It was a mixture of relief, emotion, and love. That's what it was. Those three, the three key ingredients in a relationship.
It is the will of God that in marriage, husband and wife should experience a lifelong unity of heart, body, mind, comfort, and companionship.
At that point, I just forgot about everything. Like, it really wouldn't have mattered what it was. It's just that moment when you see each other, it all comes back to actually what exactly the whole point of this is. And, you know, it's not the setting, it's not anything that matters apart from the fact that you're just here to get married and, you know, a promise to spend the rest of your lives together.
Johnny Lacey luck comes into play. Anybody else who planned a wedding in Belfast outside, it would have rained. Johnny Lacey, nah.
Hello, everybody, yes. Everyone through my legs. This is the way to the feet.
Holy shit.
If it hadn't been such a success, the wedding, I think there would be a lot of things that you wouldn't have forgiven me for.
Yeah, like if it had rained on the day.
Well, you can't blame me for rain.
No, I know, but I can blame you for risking.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I think if the wedding hadn't been so perfect in every way, then there would have been a lot of things I could easily bring up, like the mess of the house.
Would you still have married me?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year since the wedding, but it looks like Acha's finally got her own back on Johnny.
We clean the house together now. It's so exciting. Johnny's in charge of the kitchen and the living room, and I'm in charge of the hall and the bedroom and the bathroom. It's so exciting for me because that just did not happen. And you're getting better at putting washing in the basket instead of around it as well.
Yeah.
So.
Just small changes, but every little helps. Just one little step at a time.
No, it's brilliant. Oh, it's so good. He's really grown up. That sounds really patronising.
Yeah,
I didn't mean it to be patronising.
The 22-year-old customer service manager Linda Gale from Derby had been planning her wedding since she was a little girl. But in the summer of 2008, she gave away all control of her big day to 27-year-old fiancé James.
Yeah, she'll be getting in the car now.
He was supposed to give Linda the best day of her life. Instead, he gave her a wedding morning from hell. Tonight, Linda finally gets to tell her story.
My lid was about to explode. I was so cross and I just couldn't explain to anybody how cross I was. I felt as though James was the only person to blame and he was getting the whole blame.
4 hours before the wedding, James still hadn't told any of the wedding party what time the ceremony was due to take place. And the bridesmaids' dresses were missing.
The dresses still aren't here. We have no idea what's happening, who's coming, what. He knows how stressed I'll be.
And God knows what time it is now. We're still waiting. Nobody's about. It's not funny, this isn't. This is too late.
Don't start getting wound up. Don't start. Honestly, not this morning. Don't get upset about it. Don't.
It's not worth it.
We will sort it.
Nobody could get hold of James. Like, people were just ringing him. Basically, he should have known better.
Linda's dad finally got through to the oblivious groom.
Daddy, Linda.
James, I've got girls crying down here. They need those dresses.
Right, OK, I've got them at my house now. I will swing them round.
What the hell are they doing there? They're supposed to be here.
Forgot about the bridesmaids' dresses.
But things were about to get much worse. James had decided on a dramatic makeover for his usually understated bride.
I said that I wanted Linda to look different, glowing. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because, you know, you've got to look different for your wedding day.
With only a couple of hours till she was due to walk down the aisle, Linda's bold new look was unveiled.
I don't like it. I like the hair. I do like the hair. I'm happy with the hair. I hate the makeup. I'm really sorry.
When you see somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with cry, that's really upsetting. When you see the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with cry and you've done it, then that's even worse. I'd never like that bit. The rest of it I can deal with, but I'd never like the crying bit. And the crying bit later. And the crying bit later.
A bit after that.
And the bit after. And the other crying bit.
I don't know what time I've got.
Don't worry. Just take the lot off. Doesn't matter.
What if I'm blue?
Doesn't matter, Ellen. Don't worry.
I think it was about 3 or 4 attempts before I actually got my makeup on, and even then it was minimal because every time I was crying it was wiping another layer off. The whole day has been ruined. He's just not organised anything. Can you just turn it off a minute? I really wish that I'd perhaps reined my neck in a little bit and just not been so easily upset, just taking everything more in my stride, been a bit more controlled. Like, the makeup wasn't the end of the world, you know, it could have been changed, and if I hadn't have started crying every 5 seconds, it probably would have taken a lot less time.
Just when it looked as if things couldn't get any worse, it became clear that James hadn't booked enough wedding cars for the 45-minute journey to the venue.
I want you lot to take the first 2 cars then. No. I want you to take the first 2 cars. I will wait. Because the show can't start without me.
You need to be there.
No, go. And he can wait. I wanted them to have the traditional ride to the church or wherever it was going. I wanted it all to be right.
What Linda didn't realise is that by waiting the extra 90 minutes for the cars to come back, she was jeopardising the entire wedding.
Is there anybody that can bring her here?
The answer is no. I'm stood there at the altar. I've then got my nerve-stricken wedding planner saying, if we don't get her here soon, do you know what I mean? There may not be a wedding. And that prompted me to get Sam to ring Linda, you know, to ease nerves. Turned out well, didn't it?
Hiya, Linda, how are you?
Fine, what? Please don't say what you're going to say, Sam, because I'll go mad.
OK, so you wouldn't like your dad to bring you to the...
I wouldn't. So I have to swash my dress in their car that's got dog hairs in it.
Is that pretty much a no?
Yeah, it is pretty much a no.
To have gone in their car in my lovely wedding dress that James had picked, just with like the dog hairs in there, I couldn't have thought of anything worse.
At the end of the day, he will have to wait. This is his mess. He can wait and he can explain to everybody why I'm not there.
That scene I come across as like an absolute bridezilla, and to be fair, I felt like an absolute bridezilla. You know, it was just such a stressful moment.
At that moment, I thought, we are close to having no wedding here. Do you know what I mean? Over cars and makeup.
I'm just gonna go down here for a second.
You got me begging you for mercy.
Now, looking back at it, wish I'd just got in my own car, just taken my keys, said, come on, Dad, get in, dress in the back, and just driven myself there, you know. But then on the day, it was just all, you know, you just want everything to be perfect.
She'd had 4 attempts at makeup and was almost 2 hours late, but Linda eventually made it to her wedding. So when she got down the aisle, did James get a slap or a kiss?
As soon as I walked through that door, the way I was feeling all changed because I just was so glad to see him.
It's just so much. I love you forever.
James had accomplished his mission by the skin of his teeth, but Linda wasn't about to let him get away with it.
You don't know how mad I was this morning.
I'm sorry.
Fortunately, the wedding reception got off to a great start.
Obviously had the traditional wedding breakfast, and then all of a sudden he was like, oh, come through, I want to show you something. I was like, oh God, you know, like really excited that this is it. And then they opened the doors. Oh God. And there's just these half-naked dancing girls standing in front of me. All I could see was these half-naked girls at my wedding. I was like, I'm the centre of attention, it's my wedding, it's about me and James, and there's just dancing girls.
James and Linda, welcome to your Vegas.
Welcome to your Vegas. Yeah, that was perhaps the most inappropriate welcome that any bride has ever had.
Even when he's showing me the tables and all the games, all I can think of is these girls standing there with big feathers in their hair, just half naked.
You're not impressed? You're not, are you? No.
At that moment, I just thought, oh my God, what have you done? What have you done? Do you know what I mean? Like, who picked their costumes? Not that I'm an expert, do you know what I mean? I'm not an expert. Although at that point, I was thinking I was some sort of expert.
The only one point that sticks in my head that he will never ever get away with is the half-naked women.
2 years on, Linda and James are expecting their first child. And James's stab at wedding planning, for all its flaws, has been a massive turning point in their relationship.
I don't think we would have lasted if we hadn't have done it. So I owe a lot to this, and that's the God's honest truth. I think it's saved us.
Yeah.
It has saved us. I think that showing you that I actually care about some of the decisions that we're making in our life is enough to make us stronger.
Yeah. Everything seems so much easier. It's not as though it's a fight. It's always, everything is more 50-50 and there's a lot more compromise.
It's fun to watch back, isn't it? Always pulls a heartstring.
Yeah, it does. I always feel for me.
22-year-old Layla Walsh from Preston worked on a makeup counter and had huge ambitions for her big day.
Party time! I'd love a celebrity wedding.
In 2008, she handed over the reins of responsibility to her 25-year-old postman fiancé, Nick.
Wanted a footballer, gets the postman.
Nick was determined to give her a wedding fit for a celebrity, complete with a $2,000 princess dress, the biggest tiara he could find, a horse-drawn carriage, and even a helicopter.
You've not arranged that.
That's for us, baby.
Forget that! This is surreal. I'm an ordinary girl from Preston.
Amazing! I feel like a celebrity. I feel like a celebrity. Oh.
You are a celebrity. You're my celebrity.
Oh, my. Love you.
I love you.
Cause we all just wanna be big rock stars.
There's no doubt Nick succeeded in giving Layla the wedding she'd always dreamed of. Unfortunately, a great wedding doesn't necessarily make a good marriage.
I was married for 6 months. That was it.
What God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Amen.
Amen. I honestly believed that, you know, when we got married, that it was going to be, you know, forever as such. As cheesy as it sounds, I did. Otherwise, I would never have done it. When you come into that agreement, especially, you know, in front of God, it was sort of meant to be forever. But as I said, you can't stop things changing. You know, God can't stop things changing, unfortunately. You know, but you move on, you learn.
At the end of 2008, the marriage broke down, and Nick and Layla are now getting a divorce. She's chosen not to look back on her wedding day, but Nick and his best man Stephen are proud of what they achieved.
It still gives me huge confidence knowing that we've planned a wedding in 3 weeks and gone through it and done it. It's, you know, as I said, it's a fantastic achievement, you know, for both of us. I think for the standard that for the level that we pulled as well, and for what we sort of wanted, it was, you know, it was fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
I can't blow my own trumpet enough, I feel.
Nobody was more surprised by what they managed to accomplish than the boys themselves.
As me and Stephen go, we're just the most casual people on the planet.
He's still a bit of a boy. He's going to have to buck up his ideas.
We're slackers, aren't we, really?
Social loafers.
Is that on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's because we're too close to... Oh, shit. You want the fax number?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well done, Nick.
Knowing how high Layla's expectations were, Nick and Stephen threw themselves into the task in hand.
We need something quite different.
Celebrity springs.
Celebrity status, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I like it, I really like it.
What stands out for you, though?
I think it's exactly what we've been looking for.
Stephen.
It wasn't hard work.
No, it wasn't.
That's for certain.
It wasn't the most difficult work choosing that wedding dress, was it? How does it feel comfort-wise?
Very comfortable.
Is it not restricting?
No, it has like a hoop round it, so it allows you to walk.
Right.
So you've got nothing in between your legs at all.
Right. I'll take that as an insult. They did us a massive favour because they told us about wedding dresses because I'd never been into a dress shop until then.
Like the weight of dresses and things like that. You wouldn't think that you know, traipsing around something quite heavy all day, you know, it's going to wear you out and get you quite tired. That's lovely. How much is it?
It's 1,720.
I'll get back in and get it off straight.
It would cost him a sixth of his budget, but for Nick, nothing was too extravagant for his bride.
She never ever lets me do anything, you know, so to choose a dress of this quality, I think she'll be absolutely gobsmacked.
The wedding day arrived, and the actual horse-drawn carriage that took Jordan to her wedding pulled up at Layla's door.
Oh my God! You won't believe what he's got for me.
I just can't believe he's done something like this for me.
Nick may have wowed his bride, but he'd forgotten about the bridesmaids.
How are we going to get the
church?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We haven't got any transport, have we?
Have we really not?
No.
You got any taxi numbers, lass? For your mum and that? Yeah.
He's not got the car?
No.
Put Stephen in charge of transport in terms of the coaches, and I think that's all he did.
I think it was a funny one, that, because it was my one objective, and I think it just completely slipped my mind, which sounds stupid, but I think I just completely forgot to do it.
Well, how's everyone else coming? Unless we're all trying to squeeze into horse and carriage, I don't know.
You know what time the wedding's at, don't they? Yeah. Do they?
I've not arranged any transport for the bridesmaids.
It was just sort of panic stations, really. But, you know, in the face of adversity, we sort of came through again. We sort of, when everything sort of like went a bit chaotic, we kept our cool and managed to sort it out.
Didn't the hairdresser sort it out?
I think so, yeah.
Have you got any taxis available now? 10, 15 minutes? Nothing sooner?
The church was only like 3 or 4 miles away, so it wasn't...
It was only a £5 taxi. I don't know what they're all complaining about.
It wasn't like a massive trek.
Get your hand in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand to greet our bride? Layla Nadine Francis Walsh, will you take Nicholas Paul Miller, here present, for your lawful husband, according to the right of our Holy Mother, the Church?
Nick is now living back at his mum's and studying to become a teacher.
I'm still glad I got married, yeah, because, you know, if I was ever to get married again, I'd be better prepared, I'd be probably more understanding as a person. Now I'm more focused, and I sort of know what I'm looking for in a woman. I know the finer qualities that I would like to have on my side.
I think just about I've married the right man.
Just about?
Just about. Scrapes in there.
If you are what you say you are, a superstar.
I think what I take from the breakup really is that relationships require effort, married or not. And I think if that effort dwindles, then you know, fractures start to appear.
"24-year-old Catherine Tolland from Glasgow mentors in a high school. She wasn't used to letting her man take control of anything. But in 2009, she allowed her laid-back 24-year-old fiancé Richard to organise her wedding.
Nervous? I need the toilet now, you said that now.
He was always going to have a hard time satisfying his perfectionist bride, and she was never going to be one to hold back.
I knew that I was always going to be quite demanding. I've always been very brutal, very harsh. I just say things as they are. You're doing this to please me, so you should make sure that I'm happy. And if I'm happy, you're happy. That's how it works. It's the wedding day, so you should think about what I would like.
San Miguel?
Richard and his best man Phil were more interested in pleasing themselves than Catherine.
I had in my head that Phil was going to be distracted and going out and buying beer and they'd be drinking in the pub all the time, and proved it quite nicely, and I thought, yep, that's exactly what was going to happen. So I wasn't shocked, but I think I was shocked by the way that was their absolute first thing.
Pub. You reckon?
Pub.
We've got to see a minister in the morning.
I don't care. Pub. You're worried that you've got to go and see this minister tomorrow.
He's a massive, massive influence.
Listen, that's a big thing. We've had 9 beers. Are you telling me that 2 beers are going to make 1 bit of difference?
Right, let's go for 1. Let's go halfway.
You've met me halfway.
Never going to be 1, I say. It's never going to be 1.
It is going to be 1. Well, no, it's going to be 2. All right?
Let's go.
Judgment Day had arrived.
Phil's had no sleep at all, and I've had 3 hours.
Richard might have been the worse for wear, but Catherine would never forgive him if he messed this meeting up.
You particularly wanted a Christian wedding?
I think for me, a church wedding is very important. It's very symbolic of what you're doing. To be married in the eyes of the church is a very important tradition, I feel, to me.
Yeah, good.
I was really embarrassed. I was just sitting watching it thinking, they must be stinking. Like, really, how could they have went in that state? I found it a bit disrespectful as well, that they would... It was... The most important part for me was that they had to make sure that we could get married in a church, like it was the first step to our marriage, and they just kind of took it very light-heartedly and made a bit of a joke about it.
Yeah, probably in reflection, I probably wouldn't have done that, but luckily I think the minister saw through the alcohol breath.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh, it's not really, is it? It's a bit tacky, really.
Unaware that her groom was putting ticks in all the right boxes, Catherine wasn't impressed when she discovered what he'd planned for her hen night.
Oh my God! That's exactly what I said I didn't want!
With every hint of what he'd been up to, she became more convinced he'd got it all wrong.
What a weird choice of tartans.
It's just a horrible colour. Does it really matter at the end of the day if things don't coordinate and don't match?
Are you joking? Of course it matters! Tiny things felt like they were massively important. And because it was Phil and Richard that were planning it, I was very concerned about things like things matching in colour schemes. So I think in the back of my mind, I was picturing the absolute worst with nothing matching, being really garish, really uncoordinated, just looking absolutely vile.
While Catherine was losing her sense of perspective, Richard was enjoying his freedom with the stags.
Wish I didn't have to see that. I think that's clearly a reason why stag do secret stay secret. So yeah, all I could think when I was watching it was, my family are watching this, my dad's going to see this, my grand's going to see this. Like, that's all I could think about. And then I thought, oh, that minister's going to see this.
After 3 weeks away from Richard and her house, Catherine was determined to get ready in her own home on the morning of her wedding.
Got a bit of a problem. Just wondering where Kat's staying tomorrow night. She's really getting upset.
She'll be in the hotel.
She's really would like to stay in the house. Is there any chance you could sort that out?
Becky, if I could, I would. It's just impossible.
Absolutely, genuinely impossible.
Nothing's impossible.
Yeah. Cat, he's at the end of his tether with stuff.
But I'm not getting anything that I want, so why can't I just have one thing that I really want? Because I'm not getting anything else that I want.
You've got to trust him. You've got to
I'm
trust
not going
him.
to a hotel.
Then come here and I'll
No.
go out.
I'm going home. I'm packing my suitcase and I'm walking home and I will stand outside the house till he pisses off out of it.
When I think about the things that I said and the way I was acting, I just think, oh my God, I was absolutely mortified. I really was. I thought, I can't believe I said things like that, or I can't believe I really thought that that was massively important. Richard got quite annoyed with me about the way I had behaved. Saying like, could you not see the stress I was under? I'm thinking, well, no, I couldn't see the stress you're under because I couldn't see you, I couldn't talk to you. How did I know what you're doing? In my head, he was out drinking with Phil all day, every day, and there wasn't much else going on.
It did upset me because I thought she was quite... I almost felt like she was a bit ungrateful almost as what me and Phil were doing.
It is the one part that I really, really regret. Like, I just wish hadn't happened. Because I do, I look completely psychotic.
After 3 weeks of tears and tantrums, it was finally time for doubting Catherine to see what her future husband was actually capable of.
Just coming into the church and walking around the corner, all I could think in my head was, walk, just walk, don't run. Because all I wanted to do was run down the aisle and give him a massive cuddle. Because I just was so happy to see him. Richard, I promise to respect you as your own person and to realise that your interests, desires and needs are no less important than my own. I promise to share with you my time and my attention and to bring joy, strength and imagination to our relationship.
Do you give your blessings to this marriage of Richard and Catherine and promise always to support and encourage them?
We do.
Richard had given her the church service she so wanted, but surely he wouldn't get all the detail right.
I was really shocked. I was like, wow, like, it was way better than I was expecting it to be, like, and like things matched. I was like, oh my goodness, there's like a form of colour coordination.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting something a bit garish.
What a difference a day made. Oh my God.
Jimmy can eat in the cake though, eh?
Yeah. Next time, well, not that there'll be a next time. Not that there'll be a next time, but remember, I don't like fruitcake. I wanted sponge.
I like fruitcake, that's a problem.
Yeah, but I don't. There's 3 layers. You could have got a sponge one.
How ungrateful are you, like?
I don't think I could actually explain in words what it felt like, because it was like every great thing that'll ever happen to you and every massive surprise that you'll ever have for your life all at the one time. Like, every single thing that I saw was a surprise. Everything that happened was a surprise, and it was quite an overwhelming experience. I don't think you'd get that sense of excitement and joy from a normal wedding, because you would know what was coming next, whereas everything that was coming next was an absolute surprise, and I just didn't know what to expect.
It's been less than a year since they got married, but Catherine has learnt some important lessons.
I didn't feel that I came across well at all. I thought, oh, I just look like a complete bridezilla. And I did find it quite weird, and I would say almost like a bit ashamed about how I had acted or came across. So it was quite hard to watch, and I just sat and thought, if that's really what I'm like as a person, then I've got to change. I'm a lot more relaxed about a lot of things, and I'd certainly try and be a lot nicer.
I'd like to think the experiences made us more of a partnership, but I think at the end of the day, Catherine still rules the roost.
"29-year-old Sheena Gokani from Leicester works as a government project manager and is the first to admit she can be a bit of a diva. In 2009, she allowed her wacky 30-year-old fiancé, Retesh, and his sidekicks Bav and Nimesh to plan the most important day of her life.
Do not cry. Sheena, you're spoiling your face. Stop it.
It was touch and go whether this groom would ever be able to deliver the impressive wedding day Sheena so desperately wanted.
With Vicky, he does like to. He likes to be bit outside the box and do what he wants to do, and some of the time that's really good. But on your wedding day, if you had you can't have a chip van at your wedding.
Yeah, but no one even eats cake, but people eat chips. Chips on the wedding day.
I'd like to factor it in. If he can factor it in, I'd go for that ahead of other little things that we've got.
You'd rather have the chips than the decor.
Yeah. Hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Pow! To where? Alton Towers.
Vicky gets hung up on details that sometimes, and for the normal person, it's not that important. But for Ricky, that is crucial.
You got any good CDs? CDs? You can't just go to this venue with no music on. Try and get the Rocky theme tune as well. Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger will be on there, relax it.
All right, wicked. Let's go.
Wow. Why Eye of the Tiger, though?
It does make you nervous to think that that's how it all started.
I think the music was important because it got you in the mood, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a challenge, wasn't it? Have you seen Rocky 4?
Oh, yeah.
It's quite an intense movie. You get killed in that kind of movie.
You just want to get motivated, isn't it?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Charge yourselves up, you know. It's, you know.
Rocky and his sparring partners got a bit carried away with their wedding challenge.
The 2 walkie-talkies, I'm Delta 1, he'll be Delta 2, Sheena will be known as the Eagle, you be known as Rich CA, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be known as the A-Team on the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Got no worries at all now, brother.
And I'm hoping at the end of it, right, the whole event finishes and everything, and there's roaring success in it, and I'll be like, I love it when a plan comes together. This is your cue to put the A-Team music on in the background.
I think that they thought like they were the next big things to hit the UK, you know, in terms of planning weddings. It's like they were in control and they were the men, you know, they were the guys. And I think they loved all the attention on them and they're going to be like, you know, these wedding superheroes.
Delta 2, come in, Delta 2, over.
Delta 1, over.
We have a code red situation.
And I think that they enjoyed that sort of power. Something else missing out their lives probably.
While Ritesh was busy being a wedding hero, Sheena was busy being a stress head.
Still no news on the date. God. He hasn't even sent any invites out. That's Ricky. No, but you would think that, you know, the first thing you do is sort the date and the venue out. At the moment, I don't know anything about what I'm wearing. Nothing. Jewellery, nothing. It just feels weird. It doesn't even feel like I'm getting married.
It'll be memorable whichever way it goes, that's the thing. Either it's going to be hideous and we're having a good joke.
Yeah, but I don't want people to remember my wedding just because it was a joke.
48 hours before the big day, the joke was wearing thin. The guests were gathering at Sheena's traditional Mendy night, but the bride-to-be still hadn't received an invitation to her own wedding.
I've not heard anything at all. I don't know if we've got a wedding date. Ricky, what are you doing? You know, you should have let me know by now.
Hi.
I'm coming down.
Are you all right?
Yeah. Who else is downstairs?
Everyone's here, that's what I'm saying, so you ought to get a move on.
Well, no, they can wait, Nina, I'm sorry.
They can wait.
Yeah, well, so what? It's up to me, isn't it? I've been doing things in the house, haven't I? Okay, I'm going down.
It's gonna be the longest hairdo in history.
Yeah, and it doesn't look any different every time I do it.
Let go of your hair. Can you not let go of this? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Can I let go?
No.
Yeah, I think I came across a bit like a bit of a diva, and that's fine because you can be a diva on your wedding. It's that one time in your life that you can be a diva.
Oh God, no! He's bought me a pretty tiara. Oh. I'm not wearing a tiara. Shh. I'm not wearing a tiara. Nina, I'm not wearing this. It's not funny, Nina. I'm not joking.
So you can just have it so you don't see it like that.
God,
and then wrap
no,
your hair
I
around
don't
it.
like it.
Can I just take it off 1 minute? I'm going to try and pin it back and then see what we can do. I think there's quite a lot of
Why would he choose tiara? He knows I don't want.
Everyone's like, oh my God, you caused that much of a sort of thing about it, do you know what I mean? Jesus. And it was a nice tiara. Nothing wrong with a tiara. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I thought it was a bit dramatic.
Can we just try that thing again? I thought that looked really... Sheena, look straight and put your hands down, please.
Have you got any grips between you?
I've got one hairpin.
Don't put it on like that.
Just... Shh. It's princessy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's lovely. Makes you...
It didn't look bad, it looked alright.
It looked all right, but it didn't suit me.
You just don't wear it on the day, do you? You don't make a big calamity about it.
Yeah, but I didn't think I was making just as a first reaction was I don't wear tiaras, you know. But
every cloud's got a silver lining, and now I know how to control her.
I'm not wearing a tiara. Shh. Why would he choose tiara? He knows I don't want.
It's like, shh. Shh. I never even noticed that your sister done that before, eh?
Just... Shh.
I'm not wearing a tiara.
The dog whisperer, Caesar Milan, does that thing on dogs. So I've started to use. Well, I've implemented some of the strategies on my marriage,
And has it worked?
Yeah.
Something wonderful.
The big day arrived, and it was time for Princess Sheena, minus the tiara, to find out if Retesh the Joker had it in him to deliver her perfect day.
When Sheena comes in with that awesome car, bling to the pink.
Oh my God!
That's all that's real here now. We got love, and all we need is now.
But yeah, I knew Sheena was happy because, like, did you see her? She cried for absolutely ages, eh? But there was one point when, like, I was there when she cried for extra long, and I started thinking, "You're going to say no, aren't you?" And then she goes, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." So, no need to be sorry, just say yes.
It's alright, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry. Every time I went to say something, I was like, and it all just came out, and there's tears everywhere. It was a bit of a mess. I was a bit of a mess.
Because when she started talking, bubbles started coming out of her mouth and stuff, eh? It's like, and snot started coming out.
Shut up.
And a few doubts myself, if I'm being honest, and that. I'm joking, I didn't know. Best decision of my life.
Thank you so much.
His wedding planning success has been a massive confidence boost for Retesh.
I started working for myself, which is one of the biggest sort of things I realised was that, you know, you can go into companies and all the rest of it and work for them, but it's taught me to gamble on myself, and I just thought, well, yeah, no, you're a winner, lad. Go for it. And then me, Bav and Nimish, we really want to become event planners, like wedding planners.
Retesh couldn't have been happier with the day he planned, but of course, Princess Sheena might have done a few things differently.
The only thing I would have changed probably is maybe a bigger cake, a wedding cake. I would have had toilets in the grounds. You know, it would have been nice to have a bit more food or nibbles in the evening. And maybe I would have had a dance floor and a free bar. But apart from that, I don't think I would have changed anything. It was lovely.
25-year-old nurse Pipper Hawkins from Ipswich was already organising her own wedding when lack of money put paid to her ambitious plans. So in 2008 she let her 24-year-old fiancé Tony organise a new one for her. He was on a hiding to nothing from the very start.
I think brides have a right to be a bit villa-like for that one day.
For Pipper, there were two crucial elements to her dream wedding. Walking down the aisle of her favourite church.
Longest aisle in Ipswich.
And wearing her dream wedding dress.
That's my dress. That's it. How beautiful is it, though? It's a dream dress. I love it. It's just really comfortable. It's the mix of elegant and simple with a little bit of sparkle. Oh, see, this is the problem, because I don't think another dress is going to be good enough.
Pippa knew it was against the rules to try and influence Tony's decisions, but she couldn't resist having a quiet chat with her sister about the bridesmaids' dresses.
I really would like you to have a very plain, simple dress, with preferably no sparkle, and straps.
Well,
and I would like you to remember what I want when you go looking for dresses, rather than what you want.
No, it will be a case of what looks best.
What I'm asking you is to think of my feelings when you're picking it.
Well, I'm not going to pick something that you'd hate.
Well, it doesn't matter, because Tony gets over all say, and I know he won't let you.
Well, it's a silly conversation then, isn't it?
You can't exactly refuse to wear it, because then you're refusing to be a bridesmaid. And you're not going to do that to me, I know you're not.
You're so aggressive.
Yeah, she was stroppy. I actually felt sorry for her sister because of how stroppy Pippa was. When I was watching it back, I was thinking to myself, you know, oh, you can't really be saying that to her because it wasn't Vicky's decision, it wasn't Pippa's decision, it was mine.
Pippa knew that Tony's choice of dress was never going to match up to her own. And with less than 24 hours till the wedding, it was time for this bride to confront her worst fears.
Is that the dress? Oh my God, look at all the buttons.
I know you don't like buttons, but you're not going to see them.
Yeah, but it's not like there's just 10 on there. There's like, goes right down to the bottom.
But you're not going to... They're dress buttons.
Oh, Mum, I'll put it on, okay?
Oh, wow. I think that's gorgeous.
So do I, actually.
I think that is stunning.
What do you think? I think my hips look huge.
No, it doesn't.
Not at all.
Not at all. You've got no waist at all. I can't even see your hips. Is that your veil?
Lovely, isn't it?
It's got a sparkle in that.
Oh, God. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't think I looked nice. So I couldn't pretend I liked it when I didn't.
Here we are the day before what's supposed to be the most important day of her life, and I've managed to reduce her to tears. It's not. It wasn't a nice feeling.
My hips.
I don't think you can't tell.
But you keep saying that, but I can see them. Like, I'm not stupid. Just tell him I don't like it.
It's your choice. I mean, I can ring Tony.
Well, yeah, but why are we having a discussion? I've said ring him.
That's really spoilt, Philippa.
She doesn't. She doesn't. Look.
Mum, I asked you before you came to support me.
You don't like the
Do
dress?
I like it? Do I look like I like it?
Right, OK. I think you look stunning.
Mum, you're going to say that about a bin bag on my head? There was nothing special about it. There was nothing that sparkled or made me stand out.
She don't like the dress tone.
So what, she's not going to wear it, or...?
I don't think she's going to wear it, no.
I was gutted. I did think that she did look beautiful, and I couldn't see what was wrong with her wearing it.
I could have been worse. I think I handled everything very well.
It was a nice wedding dress.
For older people.
Tony didn't want to upset his bride further, so allowed her to exchange the dress he'd bought for another one in the shop.
Now that is better. See, now hips don't look like Manhattan.
When the big day finally dawned,
It's the moment we've been waiting for.
Tony was going to have to work pretty hard to make up for the dress disaster.
Still none the wiser.
I still have no idea. It's so annoying. Oh my God, is that where I'm getting married? He'd agreed that we'd get married in a church and then we'd move on to another venue. So I was surprised when we didn't have the church. But as soon as we obviously came out of our drive and just went straight past it, I thought, oh. Oh.
And so it is.
I don't want to look. I don't want to. I'll cry.
I was wearing a dress that he hadn't have seen, so he didn't know what I looked like, and and I just desperately wanted to see his eyes. So when I got to the end of the aisle, and he did eventually look into my eyes, then I relaxed completely then.
Can't take my eyes off of you.
I was just taken aback by how beautiful she looked.
Will you start me off again, don't you?
You've chosen to make some personal promises to each other.
Have we?
Yeah, didn't you know that?
You are a truly special man. And I feel like the luckiest woman alive. Oh, it's beautiful. It's sparkling.
Pipper didn't mention the dress drama, but Tony couldn't resist having a little dig.
At this point, there would usually be flowers for the mums, but Pippa didn't actually like the dress I picked for her, so the additional budget got eaten up on alterations. She didn't know, so, you know, until I announced it to the whole room right there. Yeah, I dropped her in a bit. Should have liked the dress, shouldn't she?
All these people are looking at you because you're on the top table, you're in the middle of the speeches, and you're like, well, quite frankly, aren't I the bitch? I do wish that I had just worn it. I have actually had nightmares over this. A couple of family members have said, you know, you should have worn the dress, you're so spoiled. And it's meant in family jest, it's, you know, but it's a sensitive issue. I'm a sensitive person and, you know, I think it's just the judgment, people's judgment.
It's been 2 years since the wedding and Pippa's expecting their first child. But she hasn't given up on her dreams. She's currently arranging a 5-year blessing that sounds suspiciously like the wedding she always wanted.
The dress I was going to wear, my brilliant, most perfect, beautiful dress, he has actually said I can have, if I want to, for the 5-year blessing. So, how can you not be happy? It is definitely a chance for me to put my stamp on things and just to, yeah, plan a little bit and, you know, have something, not my way, because that sounds terrible, but no, it is, to have things my way.
They had the most eventful weddings you could imagine, from the half-naked showgirls to the dress that failed to impress. Our gutsy brides have finally had their say, but the vast majority of them still had the best day of their lives. Brave brides of Britain, we salute you.